Hello everyone, welcome to UPSC previous year question analysis. Today we are going to discuss few questions from the polity. The first question is related to Lok Sabha. Which of the following are the exclusive power of Lok Sabha? The first statement is to ratify the declaration of emergency. Emergency is going to affect the center and state relationship. So in order to ratify the emergency declaration, Rajya Sabha is also required. So the statement 1 is wrong. Second statement, to pass a motion of no confidence against the Council of Ministers. As you know, Council of Ministers is collectively responsible only to Lok Sabha. So hence, to pass the no confidence motion also the exclusive power of Lok Sabha. So the second statement is correct. Third one, to impeach the President of India. To impeach the President of India also the Rajya Sabha consent is required. So the third statement also wrong. So the answer is B. So since this is a question asked in 2022, you have to study what are the functions of the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and where the Lok Sabha is in equal status with Rajya Sabha, where it is unequal status with Lok Sabha. Let us explain where it is equal status with Lok Sabha. Suppose in the introduction and the passage of ordinary bill, both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha has equal status. Similarly, the introduction of the Constitution Amendment Bill, election and impeachment of the president, election and removal of vice president. But in the case of vice president, Rajya Sabha alone can initiate the removal of vice president by a resolution, but it should be passed by Rajya Sabha with a special majority. In the case of Lok Sabha, the simple majority is sufficient. Similarly, making recommendation to the President the removal of the Chief Justice of Supreme Court or High Court or CAG. Similarly, in the case of approval of ordinance by President, also the consent of both Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha are required. Similarly, in the approval of the proclamation of all the three type of emergencies by President, Rajya Sabha has equal status with Lok Sabha. But there are certain cases where Rajya Sabha has unequal status with Lok Sabha. For example, the introduction of money bill. Money bill can be introduced only in Lok Sabha. Similarly, Rajya Sabha cannot amend or reject or money bill, but it can give some recommendation. But with or without recommendation, it should return the money bill within 14 days. Similarly, the final power of whether the bill is money bill or not, that is again the exclusive power of the Lok Sabha Speaker. Similarly, in the case of joint sitting, it is presided by Lok Sabha Speaker, not Rajya Sabha Chairman. Rajya Sabha can only discuss the budget, it cannot vote for the demand for grants. So, demand for grant is an exclusive privilege of the Lok Sabha. And related to national emergency also, a resolution related to the discontinuance of the national emergencies introduced or passed only by Lok Sabha, not by Rajya Sabha. So these are the important functions of the Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. We already discussed about in all which all cases the Lok Sabha is in par with Rajya Sabha, and some areas the Lok Sabha has exclusive privilege, that also we discussed. The next question is from the anti-defection law in India. The first statement is the law specifies that a nominated legislature cannot join any political party within 6 months of being appointed to the House. Second statement is the law does not provide any time frame within which the presiding officer has to decide a defection. So here we have to think about what are the different cases of disqualification. Suppose a member of a political party voluntarily give up membership, it comes under the defection. Similarly, if a person is vote or abstain from voting, that also comes under the defection. Now, coming to the case of independent members and nominated members. If independent members joins political party at any time, it comes under the defection case. What about nominated members? Nominated members can join any political party within 6 months, but if he joins after 6 months, it comes under the disqualification. So the first statement is talking about within 6 months. Within 6 months, he can join, any nominated member can join any political party, but after 6 months, it can't join any political party. So the first statement is wrong. Now, the second statement is the law does not provide any time frame within which the presiding officer has to decide a defection. Second statement is correct. The law does not provide any time frame within which the presiding officer has to decide a defection case. So the answer is 2B only. The next question is from the Constitution Amendment. First statement, a bill amending the Constitution requires a prior recommendation of the President of India. For the money bill, the prior recommendation of the President of India is required, but in the case of Constitutional Amendment Bill, prior recommendation is not required. So the first statement is wrong. Second statement, when a Constitution Amendment Bill is presented to the President of India, it is obligatory for the President of India to give his assent. So this is a correct statement because we know as per the 24th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1971, President must give his assent. They can't withdraw or they can't withhold or return. Third statement is a constitution amendment bill must be passed by both the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha by a special majority, and there is no provision for joint sitting. Since this is a very important bill that is going to amend the constitution, the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha should pass it separately. There is no provision for joint sitting, which is a correct statement. So second and third are correct. So the answer is B. Now, more about the amendment of the constitution. There is a procedure for amendment, right? So this should be initiated only by the introduction of the bill either in Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha, not in state legislature. This can be introduced by either a minister or a private member. Here the prior consent of the president is not required. Now the bill should be passed by each house with a special majority. Special majority means 50% of the total membership plus 2/3 members of the present and voting should be accepted this bill. There is no provision for joint sitting here, which means each house to be passed it separately. Suppose if there is a bill which is going to amend any federal provision which is related to the state, then half of the state legislature's consent or acceptance is also required, but that is should be with a simple majority. In the case of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, it is special majority. But in the case of state legislature, if there is any bill which is going to amend the federal provision, simple majority is sufficient. Simple majority means 50% of the acceptance of the present and voting members. Now this bill is moved to the president and president should give the assent. They can't withhold or return. This is added by the 24th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1971. So that's all about this constitutional amendment bill. So the answers are for one, it is B, and the second question it is B, third also. Happy learning. Thank you.